Okay guys, so it is the last day of the month and I'm going to just show you an overview of my August pages. And keep in mind that I actually started this a few weeks ago, so there's some pages I did backfill a bit, but I didn't really go back and fill everything. So this is just where I'm at. I'll also mention some of the things that I'm still trying to work through a bit with my process and my plan. But I can tell you that I am loving the system so far, and I'm definitely buying a hobo for 2021. I'm getting a cousin, an A5. I'm getting an A5 Avec, so the year split in two. So those go on sale tonight, so I'll be putting in an order through Hobonichi if the shipping doesn't outweigh the benefits, right? So if my shipping is going to be like $50 or $60 because of pandemic, shipping costs, then I'm gonna just wait and get it through a US retailer. But hopefully that's not the case because I love getting it from Japan. So here's what I've got so far. I've not really using the index quite as much as I have been yet, but I've been doing so much setup that I really haven't had the time yet to create things that are very indexable. So we'll see if that progresses at all. And then here's my monthly page. So here's August. So I had the main things I needed to get done this month. I filled in the days at the top that were blanks. I put pictures in there from the previous month. And then I had a couple sort of highlight photos that I added throughout the month. So that, just added a little bit of color to the page. I actually finished this item, so I can check that off the list. And then I also am playing with where to track my social media numbers. So here's my YouTube followers and Instagram followers. And I'm going to hopefully keep adding the starting and ending numbers here so that I could, in theory, flip through and see how the numbers are changing. But we'll see. I don't know if that's going to work or not, but we'll see. So essentially what I try to do on my monthly is big picture. What days do I have something that I want to, keep in mind? Birthdays, appointments. I don't put times or anything, I just put appointments. And then I've also been putting online workshops because I do a lot of them, but I'm not sure that I want to keep them on here only because they're not necessarily things I would plan around so much. Whereas this is meant to be a snapshot of things that I want to plan around. So I'm still playing with that, but in the time of COVID, when there's really nothing going on, this at least makes me feel like I've got something going on. Okay, so let's see, here's my August weeks. So as I said, I started it in August. This was a back planning week. I have my days sort of chunked into time. So I know that at between 6 and 7, really, my kids wake up and we have breakfast. That's pretty much an everyday thing. And every day between 6 and 7, we have dinner. So I have that blocked. That helps me visually block my day off. And then I had times throughout the week where things were happening and things that I finished, TV, movie, and books that I finished throughout the week. I also, when I'm planning, look through the monthly things I wanted to accomplish, and we'll start breaking out what does that look like in terms of getting things done this week. So that's how I plan from month to week. Again, same things here. I've got my morning, I've got my dinner, and then I've got things that were happening throughout the day and week. And this has stayed pretty consistent. I am thinking of different things to add in here. I'm thinking about using the space up here as social media posts because I'm really trying to post some more content and keep all of that straight because I have so many different things that I do that it's kind of all a jumble in my mind. So that's all up here. So that's the weeks. And then as far as the days, here's the main day. So my process at the beginning of the month, main month page. So at the beginning of the month, I wrote down the 3 things that mattered most to me for this month. I said my family, my art, and learning. And then I had a quote here. And then what I intend to do at the end of this month is to write out my highlights for the month. So it might be moments, or it might be sort of conclusions that I came to, or ideas that I thought about through reading. So this is just going to be a list of highlights there. And I use a piece of vellum to mark this page so I do come back to it, and I've got a tab on it. Otherwise, I would forget that's there. And then this is a bit of back planning here, but I have been pretty diligent about adding photos. And then I'll show you where I really got into my days and where so much of the work of me processing has happened. So here's where I started. I've used my days for a number of things: to take notes from personal meetings, to do some book reviews for myself, to capture moments. A lot of this is capturing moments of things throughout my day. So this timeline here on the day versus the timeline on the week, this is how my day actually worked out, and you'll see closer to the end what this is starting to look like more recently. And then also specific day to-do lists. So the monthly to-do list on the month page is the high level. The weekly is a couple more specific things, and then the dailies is the really granular tasks that need to happen to get that goal done. Quotes. Again, things that my kids said or that I did with them. Just highlights of how my day went and how I'm spending my time, because something that I really wanted to accomplish with this is to really get a better sense of how I'm spending my time, and as much as possible to, instead of spending my day, which I do way too frequently, sitting at the couch, watching Netflix or whatever, that I put some of that time into the things that I say that matter to me, which is my art, obviously my kids, and reading and educating myself. So I want to do those things, and sometimes, as you guys know, it's exhausting at the end of a full day of work and, baby and toddler. But I see the time I have here, and, it helps me figure out how I'm using that time. And I can easily say this is the most productive month I've had so far in this planner. Absolutely. So so this is the actual day I got my planner. So that tells you. And then I've gotten really into, as you see, starting to capture conversations and moments that we had. And that's what I'm loving about this. All those little things that you think like, oh, I want to remember that. I've gotten really good at putting them in here and looking back on them. And my son loves looking at this planner. He loves looking at the pictures, and he loves telling me when there's more pictures of his baby brother than of him. So he's keeping me honest in that regard. So you can see here I've got a lot of things that I've been checking off that list and feeling good about. And then just capturing the weekends. I don't capture as much, and I'm okay if for whatever reason that day I did not get to it. I try to just add a photo or a quote or something. So I have not been too stressed about this. I have a photo that's going here. So here's a good example of where the days are going, where I've really gotten good about, capturing. These are notes. This is a little story attached to this, and same here. So I'm loving it. I'm loving the setup. I can't show you everything back here, but I will just show you how I'm using these extra pages and what will eventually make its way into a supplement. So these pages I won't be using because these are 2020 pages. So what I've got going on here is lists that I know that I want to keep, and that again in my 2021 planner will be in a supplemental version that's tucked into the back. Because they're things that I would want to reference in the first and second half of the year. So I, on this page, I can't show you this, but this page, because this is all my finances, but what I will show you is, you probably are in the same spot as me, that you've accumulated a lot of subscription services. So I actually did an accounting this past week of all of the subscription services I have, and I have it on here if it's monthly, you know, every few months, or annual. And I figured out that on a monthly basis, I'm spending over $70 a month on subscription services. And I bet I'm missing some. I'm trying to be very cognizant and see if what I'm missing here. But that's a lot of money every month that's going to some things that are just very passive, right? That I'm not even necessarily using on a monthly basis. So I'm looking at what I want to get rid of here and whittling that down. And then on what I'm covering here is my quarterly finance review that me and my husband do. And then while I'm looking at it, this piece of paper, I'm going to put it on a dashboard, but this is from Plan Your Grind or Plan the Grind. I will definitely link her below, but she has a great YouTube website, a great YouTube page, and she has a great little Etsy shop that I got some things off of, including this, which is essentially, I think of it as like a trigger list. And the reason I love her is that she's one of the sort of, in my mind, rare YouTube planner people out there that is sort of in the same place as me, where I have a corporate type job, and I need my planner to serve a few different functions, and I also use my planner in a very specific way. It's not just all about stickers and all of that stuff. So I really like listening to her because she is a project manager, and she really thinks in that frame of mind, which is, you know, where I want my planner to be. So these are some pages I'm setting up for different projects I'm working on. And then here's my art pages. So I've got some projects that I want to work on this year, and it's sort of a brain dump running list of things that I know I want to get done. I've got a specific project that I'm in the works on, and then I've got all of the workshops online that I have and want to get to. And then I also track, so I track if I've watched the video or not. And then I also track whether or not I made a project, because sometimes I sit down to watch a video and I don't actually make something out of it. And that's no good, right? Because that's how I actually learn. So this is all of the stuff that's available to me and I want to get to. And that is it. I am loving this whole thing. I obviously, hopefully my enthusiasm is coming through here, and I'm really just very excited to keep figuring out what more I can get out of the system for myself. So please comment below if you have if you saw anything you love, or if you have any ideas for, you know, that would make this even more functional, or how you do it. I'd love to hear about them, and I will link anything that I mentioned below so you can find it yourself. And I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks.